I know. How are you? You good girl? Hmm. Hey, everybody. Prepper Nurse One here with Miss Hella. You can probably see her nose here. Her nose. Oh, now you're going to come up? What's going on? The little petite flower that she is. What? You're a good girl. No, don't start licking me. Come on. Oh, down. Good girl. All right. Good evening. Sorry. She decided at that exact moment that she wanted to have some love. So who am I to deny her? So anyway, I hope everybody is doing well, and I hope you had a good day. It was weird here. It's like it was really hot this morning. Then we had some rain. Then it got hot, and then we had a little bit more rain, and now it looks like it may rain again. So what are you gonna do? But I'll take it, and it's better than 90 something. Not really big into the 90-degree temperatures. It's not my thing. So anyway, before we get started, I just want to remind everybody, if we have any interruptions with the stream, that I will get right back on as soon as I possibly can. And so you may not get notification. So far, since I've changed carriers, we have not had an interruption yet. So I'm going to knock on wood as I say that, and hopefully we continue that. All right. Also, just want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. So I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat, be kind to each other, no racism, no nastiness, because we're not going to tolerate that. And so we're going to, keep it family friendly. All right. So we're going to be talking about how do you destroy a movement, how do you stop the momentum going, and I think it's a really interesting concept of things and how easily it can be done realistically, and we've witnessed it. Okay, we've absolutely witnessed it, and so you go from, and we're going to use the whole thing with. I'm going to use Washington D.C. event of January 6th is is kind of a catalyst for that. All right, so you look at what was going on then, and you had a lot of people all around the country were extremely upset, very angry, doing this big rally down in New York, down in Washington D.C. And if you guys remember correctly, I had several people ask me, "Will you be going?" All right, and I remember at the time when it happened, I said, "Absolutely not. No way, no how would I be anywhere near any of that." And they asked me why. Too many opportunities for bad things to happen is what I said. And if you get caught up in a situation, um, oh, what was up with the solar? What was with the solar yesterday? What had happened was it was just an alarm for the voltage alarm, and so it was fine. So as soon as we hit to a certain level, it was good to go. So it was really, I know it seemed really, really weird. I couldn't figure it out myself. I talked to my electrician, and he kind of explained to me what had what had happened with that. So, but but going back to that situation, I had said there's too many opportunities for bad things to happen. You get caught up with the crowd, the mob mentality, and you next thing you know, you're having a lot of problems. So what ends up happening? They basically, in a way, just said, okay, yeah, go ahead, go on in. I mean, it was that easy for them to get into the Capitol building. Not enough of a police presence, and you had people. And realistically, if you guys have watched the videos of that event when it happened, you had the police standing down. They were standing back and just letting the people walk on in there because they knew two things. First of all, everybody's recording everything, right? All these people, like the guy, and I'll never forget it either. The guy sitting at Pelosi's desk, and somebody takes a picture, and he's got his feet up on her desk. I said, he's screwed. I'm never forget. I'm like, that guy is screwed because if you, they allowed him to do it, and so what happens was because of that, what have they done? Tremendous amount of people arrested, and they basically have they put it out on social media. You had one son turned his own father in, because he was there, and they were trying to identify who was in the building itself. Now there was also a lot of people outside that were saying, "Stop! Don't go in." All that type of stuff. And realistically, as big as that crowd was, if they really truly were storming, is like, the propaganda machine said, oh my God, this huge insurrection. Well, it really wasn't a huge insurrection. It was a couple hundred people that went in out of how many thousands of people were down there. I mean, the estimates vary from 250,000 to what, 500,000. I think they said something in that range. Yes, and the police were waving them in. Absolutely, they let them go on in there, because if you give a person enough rope, they're going to hang themselves. That's what happens in those type of situations. So now all those people got charged. A lot of people lost their jobs, and now they're facing criminal charges. They have been in jail, and somebody just said it was a trap and it was a setup, and I agree 100%. I agree, it was 100%. It was a setup. They allowed them in there so then they could say, look how bad these people are. And so since then, if you guys pay attention to what has been going on, who is the bad guy now, right? The bad guy is, like, you look at the crowd that was down in Washington, D.C. I mean, let's be honest. Majority white, right? Majority of the crowd was white. There was other races there as well, okay, that's true. But the majority of that crowd was white. Middle class white America that was fed up to here. You had your 3%ers, you had your Proud Boys, you had all that. Now, let me just tell you right now, if you are part of a 3% group, if you are part of the Proud Boys organization, if you are so foolish not to believe that they don't have spies in those groups, just like they have spies in BLM, just like they have spies in Antifa, any other hate group in this country, there are spies in those organizations reporting back. And it could be somebody that was gung-ho into the movement, whatever the case may be, got jammed up with another charge, turned informant because they're trying to get out of their stuff. And so the government says, hey, do this. Now, again, I'm going to go back to something that I talked about in another video. So there was a militia group that was meeting, and they had an FBI informant come in and end up being part of the group and end up being a trusted member of the group. And he kept saying to them, hey, let's make the weapons full auto. Let's make the weapons full auto. Knowing that if you make your weapons full auto, that is a federal charge, okay? And so these guys in the beginning were like, no, we're not going to do it. Well, because of this individual who just happened to be a FBI informant, eventually he pressured them enough where they went and made some weapons full automatic. And as a direct result of that, everybody was arrested. They all went to jail because you can't do that. I mean, you can't. So that's how you destroy movements. That's how you destroy people that are against the accepted norm, if you will, and the corruption. So no matter how many times you have people say, you know what, we're going to have a movement, and this is our goal and our tenet, what we want to do and what we want to accomplish, you're always going to have people that are going to try to come in, influence things, change things, and it ends up a lot of times causing problems. But a lot of times it's done on purpose by that government that they are actually protesting against. So that is something that happens quite often. You see it over and over and over again. Guys, we're already, 5:35 already. We're at 163 on the thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to do that to please show support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time for doing that. Again, it really does help with the algorithms too. So the more interaction that we have, the better it is for the channel. So I appreciate you doing it for that reason as well, because it just pushes us higher up with the algorithm. Interaction, it's comments, it's thumbs up, it's thumbs down, the whole thing across the board. But it really does make a difference. And like I said, and of course, the third reason for me, I do like to see a lot of thumbs up. So I thank you for that reason as well. All right. Also, if you are not subscribed, I'd ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well. So, but any organization out there that may have good intentions, that wants to start a movement to make change, obviously there's a lot of things that are messed up in this country. A lot of things need to be changed, but you're not going to see that change happen because the status quo, the people that are in charge, don't want that. I'm going to tell you what. I want you to think about something. Let's talk about this really quickly, and we're going to see why, and we're going to talk about why there's so much resistance to it. So you see the whole voter registration thing, and where Georgia has passed it that you have to have an ID to be able to vote. Okay. Now I want you to think about this, guys. To be able to drive a car, you have to have a photo ID proving that you have your license and you're allowed to drive, right? To be able to buy alcohol, you need to have a picture ID stating what your birth date is. It doesn't have to be a driver's license, but it can be a government ID stating who you are, how old you are, and stuff like that. To buy cigarettes, same exact thing. To rent a car, to rent a room in a hotel, they're always going to ask you for identification. Okay, so you have all these things where they're asking you for to prove who you are, so they have your information down. But yet in this country, you can go and vote and not have to prove who you are without identification. The reason, and this is my take on the reason, okay, and you can think of whatever way you want to do it, okay. The reason that they are so resistant to photo ID is because then they can't cheat. And I'm not talking this side or that side. I'm talking all of them. All of them. So yes, certain parties are kind of more guilty of the cheating than other parties. Okay. That's been proven. All right. But if we have a photo ID, then dead people are no longer going to be voting, which I think is great. Uh, you know, and I think it's important that we have that accountability to prove if you vote that you have to have some kind of identification to do so. Uh, the craziness that they would, and I love the reasoning. It's racist. Really? That's all you got? And it's so ridiculous. No, it's not racist. To prove who you are, so that when you vote, and my thing is, if you have people that want to vote are from a poorer community and don't have transportation, they should be providing transportation for people to be able to go and vote. But that has nothing to do. Yeah, it's all systemic racism. Yeah, exactly. I love that. Everything that they don't like, as soon as there is pushback against anything, well, they throw the racism out there. This is racism, that's racism. Just like with the flu coming out of China, when they called it the Chinese flu, and all that type of stuff. Oh, well, that's racism. And now they come up with this phony, and I'm sorry, but I think it's phony. Oh, look at all these vicious attacks on Asian people because of they're attacking them because it's being called the Asian flu or the Chinese flu and this type of nonsense. You know what? People are attacked every single day in this country of every single color. Every single one of those attacks is not race related. Everything is not racially motivated. Some of it is just bad people wanting to take from other people. That's a reality, unfortunately. So, but we got to be careful. And I've talked about this before. And I said, if you want to be, even okay. So let's even go. And I'm gonna tell you a story so it can kind of explain things. So, as you guys know, I have a group. I have a group of people that we plan on working together. Something happens, these people are going to come to me, and we're going to work together. All right. So I was living in Greece, New York, and I had bought this property here. I had a couple of get-togethers at my home in Greece where we had, different people that from YouTube, right? Come on, we'll get together. We'll share ideas and stuff like that. So I had one guy that came into the group. I liked the guy, thought he was great, really cool guy. He'd come up here to the homestead here a couple times, helped me cut some trees down, cut up some wood. We talked a lot of different things and shared a lot of information. And again, my stance has always been the same. I am not looking to overthrow the government. I don't want to overthrow the government. I want to mind my own business, have my little piece of the pie. When the time comes, try to survive whatever's coming. That's been my whole thing from the very beginning. Never have I deviated from that. Never have I said, "Oh, I'm taking over and I want to be in charge of the world." None of that stuff. Hey, Asif, I went to pick up Bill Gates' extra large Sam order. I hope they don't ask for an ID. There you go. Oh my God, that's funny. Right? Yeah, you're picking it up for Bill Gates. That's funny. Thank you very much for the donation and thank you for the humor. So what happened was, we talked about working together, and we were going to definitely work together in those type of things. And then all of a sudden, after many conversations and this type of stuff, this dude just disappeared. I called him several times, never got a call back, and it was just he just was gone, and I found it very suspicious. Okay. And to this day, do I think that he was somebody that was sent to infiltrate, to try to find out information, to see what my intentions were, to see what my motives were? I absolutely do. And once they realized that I wasn't some kind of crackpot lunatic looking to take over the world, that I was no interest and I was no threat. Because I'm not a threat. I'm going to tell you who I'm a threat to. I'm a threat to somebody that thinks that they're going to hurt me or my group. That's who I'm a threat to. So, I'm going to address something else as well, because I definitely want to talk about this as well in a moment. But I truly believe in that instance they were checking me out. So if you have a group, Southern Prepper One has a group, right? It's got a bunch of guys, a lot of ex-military guys. They're all working together. They all plan on working together. You don't think that he's been put under a microscope just like I have been? Absolutely, he has. Okay. Now I don't know what his intentions are. I've never talked to the guy, so I have no idea where he stands as far as all that type of stuff goes. But again, I will guarantee you that somebody's taken a deep, hard look at him. Maybe come in, join the group, try to find out where they're at, what their information is, what they're trying to accomplish. Wouldn't shock me in the least if that had been the case. Okay, this happens all the time, and I don't care what group you're in. There's going to be people that are going to be in there to check out, to make sure what your intentions are, what your plans are, what you're trying to do, what kind of weaponry you have, what you plan on using when the time comes, and those type of things. Okay. So, yeah, in ex-army, we're dangerous. Absolutely. If you're ex-military and you have any kind of training, you are a higher threat because you are trained. You know how to think and how to do things and how to act, and you can lead people and all those type of things. There's been a lot of times in warfare, when you've had the sergeant's been shot and maybe the lieutenant's been shot and they're either injured or gone. Somebody always steps up from the lower ranks and leads. It always has been the case. Okay. So here's something I wanted to discuss really quickly. And somebody made this comment, which I thought this was like so ridiculous, but I wanted to address this. Okay. They're like, you talk about how you'll do this or you'll do that after SHTF happens, but yet 2 police officers came and they just took your 22 with no problem at all. So first of all, so I want to address that. We are not in an SHTF situation at this moment. So they basically were alluding to the fact that any official can come and take whatever they want from you. We are not in an SHTF situation at the moment. You still have to live by the rules and the laws of the land. And the only reason that I turned over that 22, because I wasn't going to, but when you were threatened, okay, and I want you to think about this, guys. When you were threatened, and this was the threat, if you don't turn over that 22 and give it to us for the time being, we're going to go and get a search warrant, and we're going to take every weapon that you have in your house, which it also will include every drop of ammunition that you have in the house, and you'll never get anything back. So think about that. What would you do in that situation? Knowing that this is something that's been blown out of proportion, something that is ridiculous, are you going to go ahead and go along with that and realize that you most likely I will get the 22 back when this whole crap is done, okay? But even if I don't, I'm looking big picture. I'm looking down the road. So, that's why, you know what I mean? They can do, I just want you to realize this. They can do whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do it. And realistically, and then if you fight back, then you're the bad guy. Just remember that, okay? Just remember that. You're the bad guy if you fight back from the bullying and the intimidation that is done when it comes to that type of a situation. So just think about that. Exactly. 80K man said you need to pick your battles. This was not one to pick. You are exactly right. So I will tell you exactly what I told the police officers when they were here. Okay. So when they basically forced me to hand over this 22, and I said, okay, all right, and I go, you want to be a-holes? I said, I'll get the 22, you can have it. And one of them, the head guy that was here, he says, oh, well, one of these guys got to go with you. And I turned around and I looked at him, and I swear to God, guys, I will never BS you. I will never lie to you. I will never tell you anything that isn't true. And I turned around to him and I said, you know what? I said, if I was going to do something to you guys, I said, it would have already been done. And that's exactly what I said. And that's not a threat. I was not threatening anybody. I was stating a fact. If I had, as 80K man said, decided this is where I'm making my stand, I'm going to tell you what, when these cops were here, I came in and out of this house 4 times. 4 times. Nobody was checking me. Nobody was seeing what I was up to. I could have come in here and let's say I had something that I wanted to go out and fight with. And I could have gone out there and taken care of business. And realistically, there would have been nothing that they could have done about it. That's realistic, okay? But it wasn't the case. And this wasn't a situation where over the whole thing that had happened that I would be in a situation where I'd be like, oh, this is where I'm making my stand. Over that, no. So just putting that out there. So, those people that, no, I did not get it back yet. I have to wait for everything to process through. And then once it's all done, I'll get it back. That's how that works. And no, thank you for saying careful, Rick. I appreciate you saying careful. I made no threats to nobody. I did make no threats to nobody. But what I'm making is that, again, you need to pick your battles when it comes to situations like that. I'm not looking to get into a war at that point. It's not the end of the world, okay? It's a ridiculous, allegedly. Yes, I like that, allegedly. Thank you, Drew. I like that. That was very funny. Jason Drew just said, what is that? Okay, I'm trying to remember. There was, okay, so, and that was the best. I mean, I laughed so hard. Celebrity Rehab, I was watching one, and I couldn't tell you who the 2 celebrities were. It was 2 guys, and one guy was accusing the other guy of saying something. Well, you said this or you said that. And the other guy kept using that term, allegedly. And I thought that was the best. I thought that was hilarious. So, but again, you know what? At some point down the road, we're all going to have to pick our spot where we say this is the line in the sand and this is where we say that's it. Okay. So, that, people want to make something like out of that. Okay. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. So, but you'll be lucky to see that 22 come back in 6 months to a year. Yeah, I realize that. But guess what? The best part is I could always go and buy another 22 in a heartbeat. So it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, realistically. So, it's just a game, absolute game. There's always, what? When it comes to law enforcement, I'm going to tell you what. I've always, since I've been on here, talking with you guys, I've been pretty pro cop. I will tell you, this situation has definitely left a sour taste in my mouth. I'll be 100% honest with you. I would still not want to do a cop's job. I think they have a very difficult job. But the fact that they can get away with doing what happened in this situation, it makes me look at things a little bit differently, I'll be honest with you. I will always show my respect. I'm never going to be an a-hole to a cop. That's just not who I am. That's not, even in my younger days when I was getting arrested for something that I was accused of doing. If I did it or not, that's a whole different story. But I was never a jerk then either, just because I always knew. And I want you to remember this. I don't care who you are. I don't care what color you are. Okay. They can do whatever they want to do to you and get away with it. And that's a fact. Because if those cameras aren't rolling and you've got bystanders watching everything that's going on, it's their word against your word. And they're always going to believe the cop first. Because you got to remember that police officer, the DA, and the judge are all on the same side. They're all on the same side. And it ain't your side. So that is something that you really need to remember. That's important to remember. So what are we at? 766 in the chat, guys. We're at 303 on the thumbs up. Again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time for doing that. Also, yeah, Yarn Prepper's back in. I unblocked her, just so you guys know too. Somebody had asked me to unblock Yarn Prepper. I don't know why you got blocked, hon. I didn't do it. Had to be a mistake. So I did. Somebody had mentioned it in my last stream. I went in exactly right after that stream was over. Went in, found her name on the block list, and I unblocked her. So I don't know why that was ever done. So I'm glad to see you're back in and making comments. So, but also, again, it really does help with the algorithm. So the more interaction we have, the better it is for the channel. So I thank you for that reason as well. Also, again, I do like to see a lot of thumbs up. So, and if you are if you're not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well. Cops will always try to incriminate you. It's their job. Can and will be used against you in a court of law. Think about that, folks. Yeah, North Shore preparedness. You're 100% right. Basically, moving forward, and to me, this was a completely innocent situation. Ridiculous that this has gone to where it's gone. But in the future, I have nothing else to say. I will reserve my right to be quiet. You know, so yeah. So in the future, I learned really valuable lesson. Even when you are not doing anything illegal or anything wrong, they can still jam you up. So just shut up. So I have no idea. Okie Forge, he says, are they doing an autopsy on the dog? I believe what they did, and this is just a guess, I don't know. They were trying to make sure the dog wasn't rabid, number one. They were making sure that she was put down humanely, that she wasn't, used for target practice or whatever the case may be. So that's my guess on that. So I have no idea. I have no idea. So. The best way is stay away from problems. Well, yeah, that'd be great. But, when you put yourself out on YouTube, you are going to have the people that hate you are going to try to always jam you up as much as they possibly can, any way that they can. So, that's how that goes. So, like I said, it's being dealt with. It will be dealt with. I'm really not going to discuss it anymore at this point, online. And when it's all said and done and it's been dealt with, I will discuss it then, and I will share all that with you and what happened and everything in the process of it all when that time does come. So I will. You will definitely you'll hear it all at the end. So anyway, real quick, I want to talk about my website and also the Prepper Get Together. So we'll do that really quickly, and then we'll go on with the rest of our chat. My website, preppernurse1.com, we have the Prepper Nurse 1 community on there, which is a resource that we set up for you guys to connect with like-minded people. You do have to register, but it is free. There is no credit card information to ask. It's a great resource to connect with like-minded people. If you just want to come in and read the message boards, that type of stuff, take advantage of that, because we set that up for you guys. Okay, so again, preppernurse1.com, you will see PN1 community. That's what you click on, and you go from there. Second thing, when do I move to West Virginia? Right at this point right now, Hope, I'm waiting to close. I don't plan on moving down there right away. I would like to be down there for this winter. And so I'm hoping to be back and forth between the two properties for the foreseeable future, and then we'll see where we're at that point, and we'll go from there. But eventually, the ultimate goal is to move down there full time. Does that mean I get rid of this property here? I don't know yet. I really don't. So that's kind of up in the air, and we're going to have to see where we're at with that one. I don't know. So, but also go to my website, preppernurse1.com. You will see the Forefathers logo on there. So if you click on that, it will take you to their website, which is the CBD and hemp store. If you decide to make a CBD or hemp purchase over there, you will save 15% on your purchase when you check out if you use the discount code Prepper Nurse and then the number 1. Okay, so definitely take advantage of that. CBD products are great to have, help with a lot of different ailments, and they're really, really good. I use them myself, as you guys know. Okay, so let's see, where's my, I'll show you one of the things if I can find it here. It's got to be buried, but I got one of my creams over here somewhere. So also on my website, preppernurse1.com, if you go there, you click on store, it'll drop down. You'll see Legacy Foods. We have the Legacy freeze-dried foods there. So definitely take advantage of that as well. 25-year shelf life on the freeze-dried foods. It's made in the U.S. It is GMO-free. It is vegan. There are meat options available, beef and chicken, that you can buy separately. There are gluten options available as well. Okay, so definitely take advantage to that as well. Cat sighting. Okay, real quick. We got Max here all stretched out. Lucy is actually hanging out over with Mom and Becky. So he's normally over in his box over here, but he's soaking up the love with Mom and Becky. So that's where he's at. So anyway, but if you should have long-term food storage in your preps along with everything else that we've always talked about before. Hey, Mountain Kayaker, Ed, wishing you and your family a great Independence weekend. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that, and thank you very much for the donation as well. It's very nice of you. So thank you. Got 15 hens and got 5 eggs today. Too hot for them, LOL. Big Bear Preps. Well, you know, it's funny you said that, Big Bear Preps, because I never gave an egg count for yesterday. So I'll give you yesterday's egg count first. 95 degrees up here yesterday, ridiculously hot. And again, we have 14 laying hens. We had 5 eggs. So that's funny that you said that, because that's what we ended up with yesterday, was just 5, because it was so ridiculously hot. And the chickens were like, I ain't doing it. So, but anyway, so again, I'll talk about the prepper get together. I've been posting pictures yesterday and today showing the pavilion at Letchworth State Park. Now, I'm going to tell you the name because I took a picture of it, so I can give you the name. Hold on a second. Of the pavilion. It is called the South Shelter, is what it's called. Okay. So if you go to Letchworth State Park, if you're planning on coming, that's on this Sunday. That's the 18th of July. It is the South Shelter, is where we will be doing the prepper get together. It's a big, beautiful building. We can actually, if it's raining, it doesn't matter. We can, where the cooking out area is for grilling, that's all under shelter as well, which is awesome. We can put a couple hundred people easy in that shelter. So really, really excited for that. And across the parking lot, if you look straight across the parking lot, is where the pool is. And so I would encourage people to bring your swim trunks as well. So if you're planning on coming either to the 17th or the 18th, now the 18th will be at Letchworth State Park, like I've said. It does cost $10 to get in there. If you're over 65, it is free to get in because you're a senior citizen. So definitely take advantage of that. Bring your old person with you to the prepper party and get into Letchworth for free. So be sure Angry Prepper knows the details. He thinks it's down to just one day. All right, I'll give him a call. I'll give him a call, guys. So thank you for letting me know that. I got to talk to him anyway. So anyway, we're going to be doing that on the Sunday at Letchworth. On the Saturday, we are going to be at the Sonye, Sonyea, American Legion in Sonye, New York. Imagine that, the Sonye American Legion in Sonye, New York. That one is where, again, both of these events are going to start at 10 in the morning. Letchworth, I think we have to be out of the park by 10. I think is the time to be out of there is by 10. And but when we're at the Saunier one, I think we got to midnight over there. If you plan on coming and camping out, you can absolutely do that. Greg has graciously offered his property for people to camp out in. So if you plan on coming to either event, I would ask you to please let me know. Shoot me an email, prepperNurse1@yahoo.com. Also, if you plan on staying at Greg's property, let me know that as well. You can tent camp and boondock there as well, okay, with your campers or whatever. So definitely let me know either way what you're planning on doing. We're going to have a great time, guys. After I do my live stream on the Friday night, we're going to do a bonfire. So we're going to do that for sure. We're going to have a good time. And then we're going to do the event Saturday. We're going to do the cookout. Again, I would just ask people to bring a dish to pass. It's going to be a lot of fun. Really, really looking forward to it. I cannot wait to meet everybody. I really can't. We had a great prepper get together 2 years ago. Now, hopefully, we're through half of this nonsense. We can make this a yearly event. Next year, we definitely can get that campsite that we were going to look at. We can definitely get that. So I do plan on using that next year. I plan on using that campsite next year. James Osborne, when I start canning salsa next month, do you mind if I send you some to try? No, absolutely not. That'd be fantastic. Thank you very much. I would appreciate that. So thank you, James. That would be awesome. So 80K Man says, send an email. Hopefully you got it. Yeah, I do plan. Oh, so we're going to talk about the blackouts too. I definitely wanted to talk about that because that is a huge possibility with everything going on as well. And I did want to touch base on that. I'm going to reply to everybody that had shot an email. I'm going to get on that. I promise you. For the prepper get together, the people that committed to coming before when we thought we were going to have the camp, I will touch base with you guys as well. And since then, when we have the 2 dates, so I will touch base with everybody. And like I said, I just want to get an accurate head count, kind of accurate, I guess. So we'll see what happens. But we're going to have, like I said, we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm really, really looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be a great time. So. Blackouts. I know Angry Prepper, I saw his video earlier today. He was talking about, they were telling people to shut off different things down in New York City because of the drain on the power system. Now, I want you to think about this. Let's talk about it from an out west standpoint, okay? So out west, you have extreme heat, which people are obviously using their air conditioning, and it's a huge power drain. Again, we have a very antiquated power grid system, very, very old, not in great shape, and so that's going to be an issue with that too. I absolutely think we're going to see a lot of blackouts from all this. Hey, Red Wolves 2015. Hey, Ed, I seen on my TV the other day to tell people to conserve energy in Arkansas, or was going to have rolling blackouts. Here's $10 for your get together. My favorite cat is Max. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that, and thank you very much for the donation. It's very thoughtful of you as well. Yeah, Max is my boy. When we got Max, I'll tell you a quick story on that. And thank you very much for the statement, too. I do appreciate that. We got Max for Eddie. He wanted an orange male cat. So he had a good school year, so I told him we would get the orange male cat. Well, from day one, Max has always been my cat. Cats choose who their master is. That's just how that goes. Where with Heather, she had Bella. That was her cat, no matter what. Soxy's basically whoever's going to give me the most attention. So when Heather's home, Soxy is with Heather. She's in there with her right now. So I think maybe Heather might have gone out to sit with Mom and Beck too. They sit outside like every night. So I think she went out there and sat with them. But I definitely believe we will have blackouts. Wouldn't shock me down in New York City. And the New York City blackout is not going to affect me here. We're 400 miles away from New York City. I think it's about 400. It's something. It's close to that. So we really wouldn't be affected by a blackout. And I know they've had blackouts in New York City before. And there's the substations and stuff down there. If they get overloaded, that's what you're going to absolutely absolutely see happen. So that will not shock me at all. If different parts of the country are going to see blackouts with the extreme heat that we've had out west like that, it's brutal. I mean, I just, I know a couple 90 plus days here, and that sucked. So, no fun whatsoever. So I had somebody mention it today, and of course I'm going to talk about it. So you guys, so my nose, okay, you see on my nose there, a little thing, right? I have adult cystic acne. I've had acne my whole life. I have oily skin. So started breaking out with acne at 12. It has never gone away. So I get breakouts occasionally. And so I ended up with a zit on my nose, and it was really irritating me. So guess what? Like a moron, which I know better, I messed with it. So now I have a scab on my nose, and my nose is all red because it hurts like a SOB. And so that's why, yeah. So that's why I have that scab on my nose. And but yeah, it has not been fun. So hopefully in a couple days that will be gone, and that's what we're gonna deal with that. Take zombies a long time to stumble 400 miles. Yeah, exactly. I'm growing a second nose. There you go. There you go. But yeah, no, I'll tell you what, the absolutely worst place, and I don't know if any of you have ever experienced this, the absolute worst place to get a zit is on your eyelid. I've had it happen many times, and you just think, how did I get a zit on my eyelid? But it does happen. Um, so yeah, not fun. Put some CBD cream on it. Well, actually, what I'm doing is I have stuff that I put on at night that like dries everything out. So I've been putting that on there. So it's like you see the surfers put on when they put that on their nose. I've been putting that on at night, and so like Beck or Heather saw it last night. She was laughing at me. I'm like, I don't care. So, Ed, have you noticed birds dropping out of the sky in your area? No, no, not at all, not at all. Thought I've been drinking and my nose turned red. I don't drink enough for that, guys. I'll tell you what. I'll have a beer or two, and that's pretty much it. I'm not a big drinker, so. Ed, me too. This is Melissa says this. I have one on my nose right now, and I'm 39 and still break out. Yeah, it never goes away. It never goes away. But here's the beauty of that. Okay, with having the oily skin, we don't get the wrinkles like normal people do. So we don't age as fast as normal people do. So that is one benefit of having oily skin. I'll take that trade off. I'll take the zits and not be all wrinkled and looking like I'm 100 years old. So, because the time is going to by no matter what anyway. It's like what people, I've had people say, well, if you dyed this, you'd look younger. I don't care. I don't care. So, I have a 32-year-old daughter that has never had a state ID or license. Wow, that's crazy. No, that's all right. So I think a lot of it too, though, it's like it's your lifestyle. I've always been pretty healthy most of my life, so I've been very fortunate in that aspect as well. My tan is fabulous. Well, thank you. I don't tan on purpose. If I happen to be outside and working on whatever or riding or whatever the case may be, and I get sun, I get sun. I don't lay out in the sun. I get dark. I actually just had somebody. I was having a conversation with one of my subscribers today. That really nice young lady, and she was like, she goes, "What's your heritage?" And when I told her, she goes, "How did you get such dark skin? Especially with the Scottish, English, and Irish part of it." And I said, well, my grandmother's side, they're German, but they're from the Black Forest. The Black Forest area of Germany is darker. They're not fair-haired and blue-eyed like a lot of the Germans, like you see in, the propaganda things. The elite Germans were all fair-haired and blue-eyed. Well, there's a lot of Germans that are dark, and that is the Black Forest area Germans. So, and then my grandfather was a Dutchman. So, and I think the Spanish in there as well might have something to do with it too. So I don't care. I am me. I am an American mutt. That's what I am. So China building new IBCM silos 145. It was in the Washington Post. Viking Prepper just said it. That wouldn't shock me. China wants to be the top dog, and I think down the road they will be. Absolutely, I think they will be. I have been saying, guys, I'll tell you, if you knew me 30 years ago, I would have been telling you the threat is not Russia. The threat is China. That is the threat. So I think your salt and pepper is nice. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Like I said, it's I earned it. I've had an interesting life, so um, I don't worry. I got a buddy of mine who's 62, and he dyes his all the time. Well, I don't care. I dyed it one time just on a lark, just for fun, and if you go back, it's in the videos. So, but it is what it is. You're getting older. It happens, and like I said, I'm surprised I lived this long in the first place. I'll be honest with you. I've had many conversations with people, and I go, how am I still alive? So, but many Irish have Spanish heritage and are darker skinned. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I know my great grandfather was a sea captain and married a woman from Spain on my grandmother's side. So, Ed, I could tell when you dyed it. Don't do that again, LOL. Well, I dyed it black. And so it was very, very noticeable. I know that they have that stuff like, you can do it like gradually. Like I said, I never really cared. I really didn't. I'm not vain in that aspect at all. I'm not trying to be 25. I'm not 25. So, you know, Heinz 57, LOL, that's me. Yeah, exactly. If you're an American, you probably have all kinds of different things in your background that you had no idea about. So, 1K Moonrunner says, I'm German and dark. Yeah, so there is Germans that are definitely dark. So, like I said, it's just, like I said, my heritage is all over the place, and that's fine, but I am an American. Born and raised, lived here my whole life, and that's what it is. My first husband was pure German, brown eyes and hair. Yeah, so again, I mean, you always saw the propaganda of the master race, and they wanted the elites to be blonde haired and blue eyed. So, and actually, that's getting bred out realistically. Even like people with green eyes, you're seeing fewer and fewer people with the green eyes because it's a genetic thing. And so when you have, especially in the United States, when you have, the groups of people all mixing together, excuse me, from different backgrounds, that's going to be a mutation that's going to end up being weeded out realistically. And that happens. Just like redheads, you don't see a tremendous amount of redheads. There's, you see them, but that's not the norm, I guess, is the way I'm saying that. So I'm 100% blue-eyed German, blonde blue-eyed German. Nothing wrong with that, Jamie Lee. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. So Jen F says I have green eyes. Yeah, like I said, but that is fewer and fewer between. Like now, my ex had blue eyes. So Heather ended up with her mom's blue eyes, and Eddie ended up with my brown eyes. So that's how it works. Oh my gosh, we're beyond doing the egg count. I'm sorry. Asa's throwing it up there, letting me know it's 48 here. So yes, let's do the egg count real quick, guys. And again, while we're doing the egg count, let's do another thumbs up if you have not done so yet. So guys, go ahead and make your guesses. And if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. And I thank you ahead of time for doing that. And also, again, it really does help with the algorithms too. So the more interaction we have, the better it is for the channel. So also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon for all notifications as well. So yesterday, I told you the egg count yesterday was 5. And Thickneck did not lay yesterday. She did lay today. And if you had the same guess as Asif, who put it up there like way, way early in the chat, and then he just did it again a little while ago, and you were guessing 8 eggs, that is where we ended up with today. And I got to give it to him because he was the first one that had the 8 eggs. So Yeah, we ended up with 8 today. It's been really, really humid. It's been really, really hot. So I think that's one of the reasons that they've slowed down with that as well. So, but that's okay. And no, I did not talk to Asif before the stream. So he just guessed on his own because we text. So, but no, he had no insider information. But yeah, my current streak is broken. Gen F just said that's funny. Hey, you were right last time, Gen F. So can't be right every time. But no, they're steady. They're steady. Whatever they give me, they give me. That's the way I look at it. When the new hens start laying, I can't wait for that because then we'll get those little bitty baby eggs again, the pullet eggs to start with, and then they'll go from there. So it should they're fun. But again, if you are part of any organization or group, I just want to really caution people on this because that's how what do you see happening? And I want you to think about this. So I want to get back into talking about this, what we were talking about from early in the stream. You look at the Proud Boys, you look at the 3%er groups, a lot of them are literally falling apart because of this whole situation which happened down in Washington D.C. They're separating themselves, they're stepping back. Other people are stepping back because they go, oh my God, we could really get in big, big trouble. People are scared. It's what they do all the time. When they're scared, they back off. And because if you watch in the news media and stuff like that, who is the perceived threat now? The perceived threat is domestic terrorism, and it's right now that is being blamed on white people. They're saying white extremism. I like how they call it that, white extremism. So again, so you're going to have a lot of people who are going to stand down. They're not going to get involved in things because they don't want to be labeled. They don't want to be said that you're affiliated or associated with this group, that group, or the other group. So that's how you destroy it. And the government knows what they're doing. I want you to remember the fact that the government is not made up of stupid people. The government is made up of some very, very highly intelligent people, and they know how to manipulate things. And they've been manipulating all of us for how long? For as long as I can remember. When you see the news, you are given what what they are told to give you. That's how it works. It's always how it works, and it's never going to change. So, thinking that you're going to get truth out of that, you're sadly mistaken. Okay, and so here's something that I want you guys to take into consideration too. I'm going to talk about this for a moment. Not stupid, evil. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. That's Patriot Preacher 43 just said that. Yeah, there's a lot of very evil people that have their agenda, and it don't include any of us. I can tell you that right now. Okay. Here's something that I want you to think about right now. What is out there full force in the news? Right, full force in the news. They are pushing pushing it hardcore. It's safe. It's safe. It's safe. Everything's fine. Everything's good. Go ahead and do it. Do your part. Every manipulation that you can possibly do. Okay, giving away free stuff, giving away free educations, giving away guns, if you're in West Virginia, giving away pot down in New York or New York City. They were giving away weed if you got it. So uh, somebody's getting rich off of that, which we know who that is. Okay, there's always kickbacks, always going to be kickbacks. So people are getting rich off of this. It ain't us. Okay, it's never going to be us. And so when you think, if you are so trusting of big pharma, this is what I would advise any of you to do. This is what I would advise you to do. Look at these companies. You got Modella, Pfizer, J&J, right? Look at these companies. See how many times and how many billions, not millions, but billions of dollars they have been sued for making false claims, for giving information saying that this is safe when it wasn't safe. And down the road, lo and behold, XYZ wasn't safe, and now you have all these issues with whatever the product was that they tried to sell you, right? Look at that, and then tell me how much you trust what they're telling you now. If you do your research, if you pay attention to stuff, uh, it is definitely very eye opening. Billions and billions of dollars paid out in lawsuits because of lies, false claims, being dishonest on purpose because they're trying to make a buck. If I have a product, okay, let's talk about this. I got a product. I am a big pharma company and I have this product. I know that if I put this out here in the public, that it's going to harm XYZ amount of people. But I'm going to make $25 billion off of this product. I'm going to make $25 billion. Let's say over a 5-year period. So I'm going to make $5 billion a year. And probably in 5 years is when these people's problems are going to come out and they're going to realize that, oh my God, we have XYZ issue because of said product. So I'm going to take $1 billion and I'm going to set $1 billion aside and say, that'll be for lawsuits. I'm still making $24 billion. And then it's going to continue on each year past that, even when they start. And then maybe down the road, I may have to stop. But I've already made all my money. I've made more than enough money. Okay. So that's something that people need to take into consideration as well. If you think that they are trustworthy, that they're looking out for your best interest, you better think again. And I'm not saying do this or don't do that. You can do whatever you want to do. So I'm not being anti or pro. I'm just saying do your research. Pay attention. Look at the track record. If there's a company, so I'm going to break it down a different way. Make it real simple. Let's make this real simple. You want to have some work done in your house. And there's 4 companies that you can choose from to have contracted to come in to do work in your house. In the first company, 25% of the time they do crappy work. They've got all kinds of bad reviews. They have issues and stuff like that. But 75% of the time the work's pretty good and they've got some decent reviews. But 25% of it is terrible. The next company, maybe they're 80% positive, 20% negative. Your other company is 50-50. And then your last company is 90% positive, only 10% negative. Because you're always going to have people that are going to be dissatisfied no matter what. No matter how good you are as a company, you're always going to have people that are going to be dissatisfied. What company are you going to go to? Which company are you going to go through? Are you going to go with the one that's maybe 50-50 and go, you know what, I'll take my chances? No. You're going to go with the one with a proven track record that most of the time, 90% of the time, they've been really, really good. Okay? It's the same thing with all of this, guys. You're taking your own life in your hands. And if you look at the research and you look at the people that have come out after this and have had issues, right? Well, I thought I was doing the right thing. I just wanted things to go back to normal. Whatever their reasoning for why they did it, and now they're having issues. And I don't care if it is a minuscule little bitty percentage. I'm not taking that chance as an individual. That's my choice as an individual. That's me. So again, so you got, depending on the price. Oh my God, price is so funny. Yeah, it depends on the price of what the cheap construction company. You'll take them over to one that maybe charges a little more. Yeah. So again, just be careful. That would be my caution to everybody. Be careful. This is your life. This is your children's life. You're going to go ahead and do whatever, if you want to listen to the propaganda, because that's exactly what it is. It is propaganda. So any kind of thing on Facebook, any kind of thing that has any kind of negative connotation, even inkling of a negative connotation towards the inoculations, there's the big sign underneath. Go get the facts, and this is the information where you can go get the facts. That's what they do it all the time. It's a manipulation. It absolutely 100% is a manipulation. So you want to drink the Kool-Aid? Have at it. Enjoy your cup. Drink it down. Go sit next to Jim Jones afterwards and have a nice conversation till the end comes. And if you don't know who that is, do your research, look his name up. You'll see what he did. The People's Temple. Yep, down in Guyana. Look that up. And they followed him, and they did what they told him. They did what they were told. I'll never forget that. Never forget that. And it happened when I was young. 900 people. It was 913, I believe, was the number. So sad, very, very sad. So, but again, be smart. And I have this really cool thing. So I'm got this really cool thing called an immune system that is fantastic. It's fantastic. So works great for me, and I'm going to stick with it. So fun times. It was cherry Kool-Aid, to be specific. I know that, yeah, they were doing it with different stuff. Yep, 900 and 225 were children. Yep. How could you do that to your own kids? That you know what? I'm going to tell you what. Having been married twice and gone through divorce twice, when an ex-husband goes and takes out the ex-wife, I can actually go, I get it. I get it. I understand that. I truly understand that. The emotions, the whole thing like that. I totally get it. Now, it's not justifiable to do that to anybody. Not saying that. So I don't want you to think that, oh, he said it's okay to do that. That's not what I'm saying. But that happens, and you can look at that and you can go, I can understand why that happened. But when they kill their own children, there's no justification for that, in my opinion. I know that we had one case here in New York. This is going back several years ago. And it was a husband and wife, and they were in the process of getting divorced. And so the father had visitation, had his son out, and he killed his kid, and then he killed himself just so she couldn't have him. That's sick. That is sick. I can never say that I would hate anybody that much to do that. So, and it's your child. That's what, I don't get it. I really, I truly don't get it. So it goes with cults. Yeah, and then we had the, what was the other one? The Haley's Comet or something like that, that cult. Heaven's Gate. Yes, thank you very much. I knew somebody knew exactly what I was talking about. Yeah. Yeah, some of the people were forced with injections. I know that. Yep, I know that. But a lot of those people did it willingly. You know what? If there's 900 people and 800 said, no, I'm not doing it, they could rush them and stop that whole thing from happening. They didn't. So, and they did the kids first. 225 children. Yep. So, Hell Bob comment. Yep. So, Waco, Texas. No, I won't. I'm going to tell you what. That's totally different, guys. Totally different situation there. He was portrayed a certain way, and I'm going to give you my. Let's give the spin on that one, okay? The guys in Waco, Texas, with David Koresh. I don't believe any of the crap that they put out there. They were trying to be bully boys, and they got their butts handed to them. They got embarrassed. All right. So they had to spin it like he was this. Did he think he was the son of God and all this? Sure, he did. Okay. But those people, a lot of those people worked every day. He was outside that compound every day, and he was, he was doing his thing. Waco, and somebody just said on here, was a law enforcement action. Absolutely. They got embarrassed. They didn't like being embarrassed, and they were going to take those people out. I will tell you, and I believe this to the day I die, those people did not start those fires. Did not start those fires that burnt that place to the ground. The government did that. And I truly believe that with all my heart. That is my opinion. You're never going to sway me from that. They didn't wait all those days and then all of a sudden decide to burn themselves. Yeah, let's burn ourselves alive. No, don't believe that for a second. Never have, never will. So, same thing with Ruby Ridge. Same thing with Ruby Ridge. And he ended up, the Ruby Ridge incident, he ended up winning a huge lawsuit over that one. Okay. So again, it's if you if you go against what is the accepted norm, they're going to come after you, and that's what they do. And they'll do it any way that they possibly can. Waco was an ATF and FBI cover up for Ruby Ridge. Oh yeah, all of that. All of those type of government overreach at its finest. Government overreach at its finest. So when they went in there and thinking that they were going to be like the big tough guys and kick down the doors and do what they normally do, and people were just going to submit. Those people decided not to submit that day. And like I said, they got embarrassed, and they don't like to be embarrassed. They don't like to be made a fool of. And that's exactly what happened in that situation. So, yeah, the Lavoie thing, exactly. There was another one. They didn't need to kill him, but they did. It's all games. But, those people, okay, that whole thing out there, guys, with the bird sanctuary, they were leaving and coming back all the time, and the government knew what they were doing. They were going and meeting with people and having, talks and stuff. So the leadership leaves the compound. Of course, they're going to isolate them and cut them off. That doesn't surprise me at all. So. Oh yeah, the Oklahoma City bombing. That was a terrible thing. I'm sorry. Terrible, terrible thing. I don't, like I said, I don't believe in anything doing things like that. I don't think so. So, but Bundy's Ranch also. Oh yeah, a lot of it's overreach, government control. They definitely like to have their control, and they don't want people to be free. You know what I mean? And Lavoie, he basically said they weren't going to take him alive, and they didn't. So, unfortunately. And realistically, and I want you guys to think about that. Let's think about Lavoie. What did that solve? What did his death solve? Did it do anything? No, it solved nothing. So again, and I've talked about this many, many times, you being in prison or you being dead does nothing to help you or your family when the time comes, when they're going to need you the most. And that's what I'm a big believer in. When that time comes, we're going to all need to be doing what we need to do. Hey, Jane Delaney. They are using psychology to control behavior. It's so important to research the facts. It's so important to be an independent thinker. Brainwashing is real. You are 100% correct. I agree with that statement 100%. Thank you very much for saying it. And thank you very much for the donation as well. You're right. It's all brainwashing. They don't call television programming for no reason. Anything that's put out there on social media and all that, it is all very much manipulated, all done for a reason. And it's just if they know that, like with a lot of us, they can't control us, so they're going to try to control our kids. That's what they're going to try to do. They're going to get our kids to think differently than we do, so they can kill that chain, And when the time comes, we'll see what happens. The guy who was in charge at Waco is the current Biden nominee for head of state at the ATF. Oh, really? Oh, is that the guy? Well, I know that the guy that's the nominee, I know he's like majorly anti-gun as well. So why would you put that guy in charge of the ATF? But again, there. If you don't think that there's an agenda, sad to tell you, there really truly is, and it's always at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it is always about control. Always about control. Don't forget that. I want to do some shout outs real quick, guys. I want to talk about some other channels. Starting out with my boy up in Canada, Icky Can. And JJ, if you throw his link up there for people. Real nice guy, small channel. I would ask you to please go show him some support. Tell him Prepper Nurse 1 sent you. Anybody I recommend, guys, I just tell them Prepper Nurse 1 sent me over, and check their channels out. And again, if you like their channel, great. Stay subscribed, enjoy it. If you don't, then don't. It's simple. It's awesome how that works. Also, Sean James up in Canada, really like his channel as well. Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Doug and Stacy, Southern Prepper 1, Wrangle Star, Magic Prepper would be another channel that I would recommend. I'm going blank here, but no, I got it. Out in Seattle, my boy, and I'm going blank right at the moment. I know who he is. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe I'm going completely blank on his name at the moment. Marfugal News. Oh my God. Whoo! That was a major, major brain fart. And I got it before you guys. Yes, Marv, Adam. So I was completely blank. It was just not there. So, yeah. But love him. Good guy. A lot of good information. So definitely go to his channel. Show him some support. Tell him again, Prepper Nurse One sent you over. Green Greg's another channel. We have Gray Man Prepping would be another one that comes to mind off the top of my head. The Angry Prepper down in New York City is another one. Love Jason, good dude. Been on his show a couple times, really good dude. So yeah, there's a lot of really good channels out there. And again, I do believe we should also be supporting each other, lifting each other up instead of talking crap. I won't do that now. I haven't done it for a long time. One time I did, and I realized that I was wrong. Talked about it on this channel and said it's never happening again, and it never happened again since then. Alaskan Prepper, Canadian Prepper, Pinball, absolutely. Another ones that are good channels as well. But so I don't think it's productive to be negative. It doesn't serve any purpose. If you don't like somebody, don't watch their channel. That's kind of what the way I feel. So Prepper Princess, yep. So, but yeah, so there's a lot of great channels. We should all be supporting each other, and I think that we should try to do that if we can. Let's do this right now then, now that we got all the shout outs out of the way for right now. We are Legion because we are many. We are all over the country. We are all over the world. We're a huge network of people. Yep, Grim Survival, except Grim. Wait a minute. Was he the one? I don't know. Yeah, I think there was an issue with that, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. Yeah, anyway, so where's everybody from? Let's do that. We got Hudson, Florida. We have London, Amarillo, Texas. Upstate South Carolina. Hayes, Kansas. Nowhere, Oklahoma, Oregon. Let's see. We have Candice-Reagan, New York. Ontario, Canada. Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Beech Grove, Indiana. Homestead, Florida. New Mexico. Central Pennsylvania. Central Missouri. New Hampshire. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. New York City. Northern Nevada. Daphne, Alabama. Wisconsin. Central Connecticut. We have Texas again. New Mexico. Let's see. BC, Canada. Ridgeway, South Carolina. Eastern Kentucky, Oregon. Nevada, Wyoming. Let's see. Palm Beach, Florida. Ulster Park, New York. Western New York. Gulf side of Florida. Gatlin, Pennsylvania. Northern California. Key West, Florida. Let's see. Kearney, Nebraska. Missouri and the Ozarks, very nice. Valparaiso, Indiana. Fort Worth, Texas. Phoenix. Central California. Arizona, Nebraska. Illinois. Upstate South Carolina. Northeast Georgia. London. Granbury, Texas. Germantown, Maryland. So I got to do the whole thing with Phoenix, Arizona. There was a commercial for NASCAR a long time ago, and they called it Pahonix. So that was like our inside joke, me and Richie, when I was taking care of him. We always called it Pahonix. We have Bassett, Virginia, Southwest Missouri, Southern California, Cleveland, Ohio, Northern California. We have Massachusetts, Florida again, Arizona. So again, guys, we are all over the country, all over the world. We're a huge network, a huge family, and we are truly the ones I believe that can make a difference now and in a post event. The more organized we are, the better off we are as far as being ready and being in that position to help people that need help. That can make a big difference when the time comes. So I think that is very important that we try to do that if we can. Sorry. You get dry. We have Central Connecticut there. I don't think I said that one before. North Georgia, Denton, Maryland for now. I hear you. We're all heading somewhere. But again, you know what? Get to where you're safe, where you feel comfortable. If you're in the cities, my advice to you is get out of the cities as quickly as you possibly can. They are going to be the worst place that you could possibly be when the time comes. Being in the city is not a safe place to be. We got Iowa coming up here. I just saw that. So, just be smart. Don't be victims. Be proactive. Help yourselves. I know I say this all the time, but when the time comes, you're going to have what you have. It's just like with picking up an extra canner today. Now, I have probably 3 pressure canners here on the property. I think at least 3. But regular canners, I know I had the 2, but I thought I had a third one. I couldn't find it, so I'm like, well, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and get another one anyway. So, it's just a matter of putting yourself in a position to be able to do what you need to do when the time comes. And if you're going to be doing canning, like we're going to be doing a ton of tomatoes this year. That is the goal. That's the plan. And as long as all the tomatoes come in and we get a lot of tomatoes, we're going to be canning our butts off. And I'm looking forward to doing that. I cannot wait. Tomorrow, I think I told you already, we're going to be making jelly tomorrow, raspberry jelly. So look for that. I will do the video on that, and it should be a lot of fun. So we'll have a good time. We'll have a good time with that. I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. And, I really appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen, to do that. And I'm glad to see Yarn Prepper back. So I thank you guys for giving me a heads up about Yarn Prepper. I don't know who blocked her or how she got blocked, but unfortunately she did. And so now she is unblocked and she's back in the chat. So that's a good thing. I want to thank all of you for being here, supporting me, supporting the channel. You guys are fantastic, and I really do appreciate all of you as well. Really does mean a lot. I love doing these chats, love talking with everybody, sharing knowledge. You guys give a lot of great questions, a lot of great information as well, which I think is really, really awesome. Remember, we are all in this together. We really, truly are. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can focus on that instead of all the stuff that they use to try to divide us, we're going to be in much better shape. They want to divide us by race. They want to divide us by religion. They want to divide us by political affiliation. But at the end of the day, we all bleed red, every one of us. So we should be supporting each other as human beings. And that's what we need to get to, okay? Also remember to hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really, really important to tell the people how you feel every day. So JJ is asking, will you be using a pressure canner tomorrow? No, we're going to do water bath canning tomorrow. So yeah, pressure canners are tricky. You have to be careful. You can have a lot of mistakes happen really, really quickly with a pressure canner, and you can get hurt. You can get killed with a pressure canner if you do it wrong. So those are things that you definitely need to be paying attention to. Also remember, guys, STD, step, thing, and day. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to accomplish, whatever you were trying to do, you can do it. The only one that can stop you from reaching your goals is you. Nobody else can stop you. Stay positive, stay away from negativity, and you're going to be just fine. I cannot believe this is the last day of June already. The year is blasting by unbelievably fast. Pay attention, keep your head on a swivel. I think we're in for some rough times moving forward. Get as much of your preps available that you can get now. Do it now. That's my advice to you. Prepare, 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 because I honestly, truly believe that we are headed for another lockdown. I really think that that's coming. They will use every reason and coercion in the world to get where they want to get with these vaccinations. And so, be careful. That would be my advice. Be careful. Okay. Like I said, just be ready. So anyway, I will see you all tomorrow. I hope everybody has a great day. Be safe, guys. Okay. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.